Hello and welcome to the final section of this video course. In this section we're going to learn how to implement and use third-party JavaScript, CSS and some PHP libraries. We're also going to take a very quick look at Composer. So as the first video of this section, let's dive right into implementing and using a third-party JavaScript library. In this video we're going to create a module that provides AngularJS as a library and a custom Angular application. The demo of this is actually available on the AngularJS homepage at time of recording. In the past, Drupal has only shipped with jQuery and a few jQuery plugins used by Drupal core for the JavaScript API. This has changed with Drupal 8. _JS and Backbone.js are now included in Drupal, bringing two popular JavaScript utility frameworks to its developers. But there are still many more that can be used. In Section 5, Front End for the Win, you learned about the asset management system and libraries, for example. In this section, we're going to use Bower to manage our third-party AngularJS components. If you're not familiar with Bower, it's a package manager for front-end components. Instead of using Bower, you can just manually download and place the required files in the right directory. If you don't have Bower yet, you can follow the instructions at Bower.io. If you don't want to install Bower, we'll provide links to manually download libraries anyway. Having a background of AngularJS is not required, but is beneficial. This video implements the example from the homepage of the library. So first let's create a custom module named MyModule that will serve the AngularJS library and its implementation. Let's run Bower init to create a Bower project in our module. We'll use most of the default values for all of the prompted questions that turn up on screen. Next, we'll install the AngularJS library using Bower install. The --save option will ensure that the package's dependency is saved in the created bower.json file. Again, if you don't have Bower, you can download AngularJS and place it in the Bower components folder manually. Next, we want to create mymodule.libraries.yaml. We will define AngularJS as its own library entry. When the Angular library is attached, it will add the AngularJS library file and attach the CSS style sheet. Next, let's create a mymodule.module file. We will use the theme's layer preprocess functions to add an ng-app attribute to the root HTML element, which is required by Angular. Angular uses the ng-app attribute as a directive for bootstrapping an Angular application. It marks the root, the entry point of the Angular app. Next, we will use a custom block to implement the HTML required for the AngularJS example. Make a block directory under your source folder /plugin/block and make an angularblock.php file. Extend the block base class and implement the build method to return our Angular app's HTML. We return a render array that contains the input name and for our library attachments. The input array returns the Form API render information for a text field. The name returns a regular markup that will bind Angular's changes to the yourNamescope variable. Now, install your custom module and then visit the block layout form from the structure page and place your block. View your Drupal site and interact with your block, which is fully powered by AngularJS. So how does this work? Integrating with a JavaScript framework is provided by the new asset management system in Drupal 8. Using Bower is optional, but is usually a preferred method to manage front-end dependencies. Using Bower, we can place Bower components in an ignore file that can be used to keep third-party libraries outside of version control. So great, it was very quick. We successfully implemented and used a third-party JavaScript library.